nPAS, nPAS. It's a product that we did a lot of research over the last many years and came up as a survey tool. The expansion of that stands for Net Performance Accountability Score. nPAS, Net Performance Accountability Score. See, these two words, responsibility, accountability, a lot of times we keep using them interchangeably. Let's get this concept very, very clear, because responsibility is I'm responsible to execute a particular task, perform. My boss has given me something, I finish that. Now, accountability is that sense of ownership towards the result. What happens after I perform the task? The result could be good or bad, but I need to own it. So the responsibility is, I'm responsible to perform a task, but I'm accountable. I'm owning the result, good or bad. So there is a lot of difference between these two words, responsibility and accountability. And the other question is, why is accountability more important? My reply to that would be that why not? Because just by being responsible, we are not owning the consequence of my action. I'm saying I'm sincerely performing the action. So that's good. That's very important. It's required. But is it good enough? No. Unless I really own it. In case the result is not to my liking, do I own it and go back and recheck and then do something to come back and ensure that it's a positive result? If I have that, then that is accountability. Otherwise, I'm just saying that I have done my task, whatever you have given me, with a lot of responsibility, but I don't own anything. So what is really important for a team, for the managers or for the organization is we want more and more people to be more accountable. We want accountable organization, not just about people being responsible. That's good, but not sufficient. We have so many surveys. We have engagement surveys, we have happiness surveys, we have best employer surveys, whatnot. We have plenty of those things which are all talking about how is these organizations to work for. Now, in that space, what we have understood is while we keep on working on the employee engagement and make this place a much better place, but on the other side, the business need is also that along with engaged employees, I want a performing organization as well. And when we need to drive performance, our formula is very, very simple. Performance is equal to capability multiplied by accountability. We need people who are very capable, competent, talented people, but they also need to come with that sense of ownership towards the task or towards the team or towards the business. When this combination works, it really works wonders. In that context, we thought we need a tool to help organizations to assess their own level of accountability within the organization. So therefore, nPAS is a tool for the organizations to make an assessment about how is the accountability within my organization. And once you have a sense of that, along with your investment into your training and development towards capability building, you also can do something to strengthen the accountability. Together, you can enhance the performance. Like any other survey, I think once you set it up online, response time could be about a week to 2 weeks. Of course, it also depends on the number of employees who need to respond to this anonymously across locations virtually. So it's very simple in terms of administering the whole thing. We just need to have the respondents' details, and we set it up, the whole thing, and it's completely anonymous and confidential aggregated survey. So as I was mentioning, the outcome of all of this is an aggregated data that is provided to the organization, and it is not about any one individual's accountability. That is not the purpose. For that, we have other tools like 360s and other things we can use to understand about individuals' accountability. But here we are talking about organization level accountability index. nPAS divides the accountability parameters into 5 segments. We have person driven accountability, we have leader driven accountability, we have process driven accountability, we have culture driven accountability, and we have consequences driven accountability. So when we run the survey, we analyze the data, we are able to offer to the organizations a specific number, a measure on each of these 5 parameters. So organizations will be able to understand very clearly which piece I need to strengthen, which dimension I need to strengthen. So, okay, maybe my processes are not strong enough to drive accountability. So let me focus more on processes that will drive accountability among people. So things like that, I think we are able to pinpoint exactly which segment you need to strengthen. As I was mentioning, the other surveys focus more on employees and their welfare, their engagement levels, overall organization climate that you have for people to perform comfortably, feel safe, aspire for their growth, etc. So those are very, very important parameters that are covered under the other surveys. Similarly, you have 360-degree feedback surveys which are more specific to individual level. Whereas we focus much more on the organization and very importantly a dimension called accountability, which according to us has not been covered by many other kind of a surveys. So that way nPAS is a very distinct survey which doesn't overlap so much with other surveys. Any organization which has at least 50 people and above, I think we'll have meaningful results coming out. It's a simple statistical analysis. The bigger the number, the better the accuracy of the entire report. So if you have more number of respondents, the report will be that much more accurate. One, you will have the nPAS score. nPAS theoretically ranges between -1 to +1. In between, your score, your particular organization's nPAS might fit into somewhere between -1 to +1. If you're moving towards +1, that means you have a lot of enabling factors in your organizations which are really promoting accountability. If your score is tending more towards -1, that is an alarm that you have where many factors are pulling down the accountability in your organization. So that kind of insight is something that we are able to provide. That is at the macro level. When you drill down a little deeper, you have scores at these 5 dimensions which I was mentioning a while ago. Processes, person, leader, consequences, and culture. So on each of these aspects, again, there is a score available. Apart from that, we can also have some demographic based slices taken out from the survey. If you have multiple business units in your organization, we can arrive at an nPAS for a business division, and separate business divisions you can have a comparative scores coming out. So that is how I think as much drill down is possible based on the demographics that we collect. We can provide a lot of insights. The report itself is so self-explanatory. It exactly pinpoints where what needs to be strengthened. So that kind of a granularity is available in the report. Now the next question that organizations need to ask is how to go about it. What to focus on is already coming from nPAS report. Now how to work on those aspects. One, they can have their own internal brainstorming sessions and working groups to focus on separate aspects. In case there's a consulting help that is required from HR footprints side, we'll be more than happy to facilitate those things. But there is no external magic pill that we can provide to organizations. This is a diagnostic report which has got a lot of insights. Using this, the team of leaders and managers have to start brainstorming. Now, which segments have to be strengthened in my organization? That decision, that action is all within the organization itself. What we can do as an external help is to give you some direction, facilitate those brainstorming sessions, help you in action planning if need be. But otherwise, if you think nPAS report is itself is self-explanatory, we can take care of the rest of it. I think that's the best way to go about it. But more important is, after you have acted upon some of these insights from nPAS, you may like to rerun the nPAS after, let's say, 10 months or 12 months, so that it will give you an indication what was my nPAS earlier and what is my nPAS now, and whether we have moved in the right direction, in the desired direction or not. So from time to time, I think taking nPAS is a way of tracking your own change within the organization towards accountability. I think we just discussed that part. I think so. Those are the things, right? So any organization which wants to run nPAS is a simple mail, and rest of it is all set up by us. So the survey questionnaire is all done by us. Report is all generated by us, and it is all completely confidential. It is done completely virtually. All that we need from the organization is the data of the respondents and the kind of slices that you require, how many departments, how many designations, so how many locations, etc. That kind of a set format, I think my team can provide. And once we receive that respondents information, we set up the survey and we allow it to run for a couple of weeks, and we generate the report and give it to the HR in charge, or to the managing director, whoever the organization decides, they will have the report. And that report has to be acted upon subsequently by involving a lot of stakeholders within the organization.